Hey guys, so right now it's February. I think it's February 6th or 7th, I'm not really sure. I haven't really been doing a video in a while just because there really hasn't been a lot happening. Like I'm more settled right now in Seoul. I have more of a routine, so there's less to update. I haven't really been traveling because I've been busy. My family was here and I had a friend that came to visit. And then next week I have another friend coming, so I just have more routine, so I won't be doing videos as often, unfortunately, but I think you guys will be okay with that. I just kind of want to do a lighthearted video today about my experience in Korea. It's kind of a reflection video, but I really want to talk about my experience being in Korea as being ethnically Chinese, but being a Canadian and teaching English. So this kind of more like a funny video. Not funny, but kind of like not a too serious videos. But I would like to hear your experience too. If you're a Chinese English teacher here, or if you're ethnically like a Korean, that's probably even a more interesting experience. Or if you're Japanese or something. Or if you're of any Asian ethnicity and an English teacher here as well. So something I want to talk about was this video idea came from today when in the office this morning, one of my coworkers came in and opened all the windows in the classroom, in the office, and it's like negative 13 degrees Celsius out right now. So I always hear about my friends who are also teachers in Korea saying how they are so shocked, or like they always kind of complain about how to always leave windows and doors open in Korea. And even though I complain because it's so cold, at the same time it's kind of normal for me because as a Chinese person in my culture, we also do that too. So whenever a room kind of like not smells, but the air kind of feels kind of like old or dirty. It doesn't really make sense in English, but I mean when the air kind of feels like it's kind of like musty maybe, or like if someone sneezed or coughed, I would totally open a window in the room just to like change the air. Of course, it doesn't really make sense unless it's kind of windy because air probably won't like come rushing in and out right away. But it just makes me feel better and at ease because there's a change of air happening. So that's one thing in Korea. As a Chinese person, that hasn't really been shocking to me because I can totally understand that perspective. So that's number one. Number two, language. So although I've been here for 5 months, almost 6 months now, my Korean really sucks. For what like the level should be a lot higher, but I'm like over here still. But the language, I wouldn't say it's easy to learn, but sometimes it's confusing because I'm sure it'd be more confusing if I spoke Mandarin, but I speak Cantonese. But a lot of the words kind of overlap. So sometimes things kind of sound similar. So I kind of get lazy with learning the Korean. So I just kind of like speak Chinese, but I kind of like change the accent or intonation a little bit, hoping it sounds like Korean, but it never does. So I think that's like a problem I have in Korea. But sometimes it's also flip. So sometimes I'll speak the word in Cantonese and it sounds like Korean. So that's kind of cool as well. The third thing is not so much the obsession that's the same in Chinese culture, but the idea of pale skin. So I'm really tan as a Chinese person, I would say, probably because I'm really outdoorsy back home. And I'm also naturally really dark, not because of genetics, but because my mom was a little bit crazy when I was a kid. But that's another story for another day. But pretty much, with the obsession with pale skin when I came to Korea, a lot of my foreigner friends or Wigukun friends were really shocked by it and kind of made fun of it. But for me, I've always been used to it. Like, for example, my mom growing up was like, Tina, never put soy sauce in your rice or whatever because soy sauce will make your skin darker, which doesn't really make any sense, I know, but it's something that I grew up with, a little kind of like belief, cultural thing. No scientific background to it at all, but something that I kind of believed in while growing up. So being here, even though I am tan, I kind of used to people saying that I'm too tan or I'm not pale enough. So that's not really shocking to me either. I understand that. The fourth thing is food. So I think my coworkers are kind of disappointed when they take me out to eat because they'll be like, "Oh, Tina, try this," and I'll eat it, and then I'll be like, "Oh, what's that?" And they'll be like, "Oh, it's this fish or this seafood or this something something." And I'll be like, "Oh, I've had before. Like we have the same thing in Chinese culture." So for example, like pig's blood, I think, or pig's intestine. Duck's feet or chicken's feet, sorry, like these things are kind of normal to me in what I eat back home, so that wasn't really shocking to me either. So that kind of helped me ease the culture shock as well. Number five, restaurant manners. So back home I was a waitress in a Western restaurant, so I know how like there's like things where if you close your menu, that means you're ready to order. You would never like wave down a waitress, or you always wait for them to come to you. All these little mannerisms that we have back in the Western society. But in Chinese culture, even though I live in Canada, I live in a very Chinese dominated city. So pretty much there are a lot of Chinese restaurants, and it's the same thing here where the waiters don't really come to you unless you wave them down, and it's not really considered rude. I just think it's more efficient. And also how yeah, that's the main thing. I guess you just call in the waiter whenever you want. So like yesterday I went to Outback Steakhouse in Korea, and it's a Western restaurant. So it was really bizarre for the waiter to come check up on us. I was not used to that at all. The sixth thing and last thing is I heard my Waikyukin friends talk about this, and I've experienced it once or twice too. Sometimes I'll like be invited to like a food party at my school with my coworkers, and I'm obviously the only Waikyukin or foreigner there, so they'll all speak in Korean. I'll just sit there and just kind of sit and smile. And like a lot of my Waikyukin friends or foreigner friends don't really enjoy that, and they say that it's kind of like, what's the point of you being here? Blah 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 blah. And at the same time, like I can see how it's boring. But in Chinese culture, growing up, I always kind of were dragged along to these like dinners or lunch or gatherings with my mom and her friends. And like, even though knew the language, I didn't really care. So I think as a Chinese person in Korea, or as a Chinese person growing up, I'm really used to sitting in group settings where I may not be the center of attention or have any attention, but I will still feel comfortable and I'm able to kind of blank out or kind of look engaged. And I can see that how like a Westerner might see, what's the point of me being there because it's such a waste of my time. But I guess in Asian culture, it's more the idea of being in a communal setting, and it's kind of nice to be together even though you might not be able to communicate. So I'm kind of used to that too. So that's my fun little video. I'll kind of think of more things to do as well. I think my next video I'll do, so this video is pretty much about how it hasn't really been too culturally shocking for me to be in Korea as a Chinese ethnicity, Chinese ethnic person coming to Korea to teach. I think my next video will be the hardships about being ethnically Chinese and how it's hard for me to live in Korea. So that's my video for today. I'm sorry about the lack of videos, and bye guys.